Hello.
Freaking bats. I'm like, are you insinuating that they fuck? Girl, just tell me your favorite movie is Cars, and like, let's get over it. Like, well, 2 years ago, Lucy and I did go trick-or-treating, so...
You did not need to be in a wheelchair. Underwear,
Yeah.
if we're being generous. I wanted to claw my eyeballs off.
Bitch, she's wearing a pencil dress that's pumpkin orange. Camilla was basically naked. Camilla was basically wearing a sheet. Large male.
Thank you for admitting that he was too tall. Did QAnon write this? Who wrote this?
Number one rule in the English language, in literature, don't use the word tits.
It was crazy since we'd known each other for 2 weeks.
Yeah! You adopted him from the animal shelter.
It's not a bad show, you just hate every single character.
It's one thing to worship the ground I walk on, because you should.
It's just the way things are. We don't ask questions.
You like whisper to them?
You could not CIA, like, interrogation tactic, waterboard, nipple clamp, that out of me. You're so little. Your kneecaps are fine.
I'm so glad I adopted you. Ew.
Ew.
The animal shelter.
I hope a nuclear bomb takes you out.
I'm destroying this town. I'm doing a 9/11 on your city. Your name is Damien. If I had a nickel for every time that polka dot panties played a part in a book that I've read, I have 2 nickels. That's too many.
No.
The wrong characters are saying these lines. If I was a boy, that would be my Instagram bio. Grade A simp.
New band name, Dibs.
Like, I don't need to know what linens you had at your wedding. Like, tell me about how you killed your dad. I'm just racking up nickels today. 10, 20s on his head.
Yeah, she's gay, so she's communist.
Where they all wear plague doctor masks. Hot. Mr. Sexy Professor. So obviously she's like blackmails. She kind of blackmails him. He's actually been cosplaying as the plague doctor.
Sorry for being late.
That's okay. I love the costume.
Oh, what costume? Happy Halloween, everybody!
I feel like I can't smile. Like, I feel like it feels weird.
You look incredible.
I have 2 names for this costume. Again, what costume? I just look like this. One is biblically accurate Wednesday Addams. And number 2 is you're asking me if I've seen the Wednesday Addams TV show. I'm at the gun store. Because Lucy and I have this joke when the Wednesday Addams Netflix thing came out. Everyone and their fucking mother was asking me, oh my god, you have to watch it, like, you're her, like, you look like her, like, yeah. One, I know, 2, I've already watched the show. Like, you don't need to let me know that the show's out.
It was also, like, not even, like, right when the show came out.
Right,
it was weeks after.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it was years later. Not years, but, like, it was a while after the show came out.
Anyways, we're really excited for Halloween, if you couldn't tell.
Freaking bats. I wish I could, I have free will. I could look like this every day. I just think sometimes, I know that I eat up a Wednesday glam look.
I think every day in the month of October, like, you should just transform.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter what you've going on.
Yeah.
You're just Wednesday. And it's like you're normal most of the year, and then...
And I just like to do Wednesday because I have dark hair. I have a really insane resting bitch face. Like, I can just, simple.
Easy. I feel like, okay, apparently not everyone knows who this is.
That's unfortunate to me because I love Joe Cool.
Love Joe Cool.
I hate that.
Anyways, I was trying to. Someone was like, "Oh, what are you gonna be?" And I was like, "I'm Joe Cool," and they were like, "I don't know who that is." And I was like,
Yeah.
just the coolest man you'll ever meet. Like, I don't, Joe Cool. Now my nose is running and I have black eyeliner. I feel like I kind of look like I'm
Oh,
in the
I could see
Goofy
that.
movie.
Like Max. I like that though.
Yeah,
That's good too.
but
You could be both.
so I could be both, both.
Both. I feel like I can't make my normal jokes because I'm like,
Anyways, so what have you been up
well,
to this month of October?
I have some topics to bring up. I literally I woke up this morning and I was on TikTok on my phone and I was just getting a lot of people like showing what they're going to be for Halloween or like whatever. And I literally wrote this down because I started laughing to myself and I wrote this down so I wouldn't forget to share it. But I always see like when people are like, oh, couple's costume or like here's some couple costume ideas, and every single time it's like one of those slides or like a couple like filming a TikTok and they're dressed as Remy the rat and Linguini from the movie Ratatouille, and I'm like, are you insinuating that they fuck? I think no, they're
They're
not brothers.
brothers.
No, Linguini, the chef, and Remy. Yes, his name
His
is
name's
Linguini.
Linguini?
Emile is his brother. Emile is the brown rat, and Remy's the blue rat.
Are you
Like it's
insinuating?
the human and the rat. Like why is that a couple? To me, that's not a couple's costume.
I got that. It's just a duo costume.
Yeah, but like you're dating. Like I think if we did that, it'd be different. It would be really funny. But like
really funny.
when couples do that, I get really like, oh.
I mean, people are the Pink Panther and the detective.
That one doesn't bother me as much.
They're both boys.
Or like it's just about like I've seen people do like the man in the yellow hat and like Curious George. Like the girls like, well, you could be either actually, it doesn't matter. It's just weird to me. I also keep seeing a lot of people do the Fantastic Mr. Fox, like the fox and like his like wife. I've never seen the movie.
I love that movie. It's such a great movie.
Style. I don't like.
Oh, I'm not a big claymation fan, but for some reason I really like that movie.
I am a Nightmare Before Christmas adult. Like I literally, maybe you'll be able to see this. I literally have. He's on my backpack. Like I'm an adult. Like I'm an adult who loves Nightmare Before Christmas, and I enjoy claymation. Like I think it's cool, but I don't really like Wes Anderson.
Oh, he can be hard to get into like sometimes. I also feel like all of his work is very existential for not always a reason.
I just have triggering memories of like boys being like, I love Wes Anderson. Like he's so deep. Girl, just tell me your favorite movie is Cars, and like let's get over. Like, come on.
I mean, I love his visuals. I think his visuals are incredible.
Just not my thing.
So, I don't know. Anyways.
Oh my god. Also, I wanted to ask you, I thought it'd be a fun little Halloween. Sorry, I'm just rambling. I thought it would be a fun little Halloween topic to maybe talk about some of our like favorite costumes and like maybe some of like our embarrassing costumes. Because maybe the people want to know. Also, I want to know. Because I thought of one that was really embarrassing, and I'm like, why did I do that? Like, that's offensive.
At what age did you stop trick-or-treating?
Well, 2 years ago, Lucy and I did go trick-or-treating. So let's say 21. Oh my god. Well, that was, I don't know what you call that. We did go trick-or-treating. Like, we went door to door and we're like, trick-or-treat. Like,
did. Yeah, that was strange.
We're not going to talk. That
we were. Why did we do that? Because that was last year. No, that was 2 years ago. And Halloween was on a Monday, and we had like a costume chapter, so everyone dressed up, and then some people were like, "Let's go trick." like live in a neighborhood. And we walked around, and I don't think we went like later, so like all the
Yeah.
little kids had gone, and I don't think
Mm-mm.
the people really appreciated
Well,
us
because
being
they knew, they're like, oh, the
although
little ones are gonna come until this time, and then I'm clocked out. I don't have to give out candy anymore. And then here's us at like 9 p.m. like full grown adults. I'm dressed like this, by the way. I'm Wednesday again.
I was an angel, like
Oh
I had
yeah,
sparkly pants and like angel wings I'd
some
found
yeah.
in the attic of our house, the house we lived in.
Crazy.
It was so random. And one of our friends was
Yeah, the
they
grandma.
were the SpongeBob characters that were like the two old ladies.
And
The grandmas and
that's
what are they
well, I
selling?
think well they wanted
Chocolate.
to go because they wanted to be.
They did want to go. So one of them was in a wheelchair, and I think some of these
Mm-hmm.
like she did not need to be in a wheelchair. It was for just for the costume because like she was a
Yeah.
spine, so like she couldn't whatever. But I think some of those people thought we were taking her trick or treating because she couldn't walk, which
No,
we did not
no,
claim we were doing.
no.
So I, I don't know. Yeah, no. So, but before that, um, we I stopped. Well, I don't know. I went in high school because I went like freshman and sophomore year, but I took my friends' little siblings. Like we
That's
took them
different.
trick or treating, but we
Like
were with
even
them.
though you still got
So I was
candy,
like,
that's different than like I'm going.
also like I grew up in a little suburb. There wasn't a lot to do.
Mm.
People wouldn't throw parties, like especially if it was a school night. Um, Sometimes people would like have like little get gatherings of like we're watching a scary movie, but like we take them trick or treating, and then like they weren't that young, but like young enough that like we went earlier in the night,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like while the sun was setting, and then like we'd go home and like watch a movie. And then I think my junior and senior year, I passed out candy and watched movies.
I can't remember the last time I went trick or treating. Like I really like can't tell you. Like it was probably middle school because well I remember like my Halloween memories of like growing up were one of our family friends would always host like a big Halloween costume party like in their backyard. Um so that's my Halloween memory of like my whole family would like get dressed up in like our costumes and like go to their party and like have dinner and like there'd be candy and like games like you know like that kind of thing because like their kids are younger so it's like there'd be like kid thing like you know like that's what I remember. I don't really remember. I think I have maybe one memory of trick-or-treating and I was in like third grade, which is kind of sad but like
Oh,
I definitely went like
and
well
obviously the
that
one when you were
well
21.
yeah but like I don't know like I just because I remember dressing up like I remember all of my Halloween costumes and I know I went trick-or-treating. I think it just like boop, black.
I don't really remember a lot of my costumes. You asked that question. And I'm
Mm.
thinking of like my childhood.
Oh,
I was a ladybug, like when I was a baby.
that's
My
cute.
mom dressed me up as a ladybug because there's photos of it. I loved Jasmine growing up. So I
Yeah,
was Jasmine one year.
questionable.
Mm, that was also we
It was
grew up in
fine.
like the early 2000s and like that
It
wasn't
was
like
fine.
no one cared. No one came out until a later few years after that being like
Well,
you can't do
I
that.
my like first Halloween costume, like when I was a baby, my mom was Tigger and I was Piglet, which like really, yeah, that adds up. Um, and then I think the first Halloween costume that I remember, like because obviously I was an infant, I didn't choose to be Piglet. Like my mom was like, "Oh, we're gonna like you know have like a mommy daughter costume, whatever." But the first costume that I remember, like, Mom, I want to be this. I was a Dalmatian. My mom made me like
That's
it was a zip
cute.
up hoodie, and she like put felt like spots on it, and then on the hood she put two socks on the like, and they were like floppy, like, oh my god, because I burned a hole in the fucking 101 Dalmatians VHS tape. Like, my parents had to buy like multiple of those because I kept like running through that shit, you know?
Yeah.
So that was my first costume that I vividly remember. One year I really wanted to be Robin Hood. Questionable. But it was like I wasn't like cross-dressing. It was like a girl Robin Hood. No.
No, he was a
Like, this was like
fox.
huntsman, like Robin Hood. Like, not the fox. Robin Hood. Like the man, like a man.
Honestly. No, I mean,
Yeah,
like, I think it's
like
just a
no, it was like
costume.
the
I mean,
girl
like, plenty of
version
people.
whatever, like with the skirt and the little dress, like the dress, like, and I had a little hat, like ridiculous. One year, I don't like this one. I don't know why I picked this one, but I was Supergirl. That was really weird to me. I don't know why I did that. I was Alice one year, but my mom wouldn't let me wear a wig, so
That's such a weird thing because you're like, I just want to wear a wig. Most kids are
right.
like, let me dye
I
my
just really
hair.
wanted to be like Alice, like from the movie, like she's blonde.
I feel like she just didn't want to put the wig on you.
She didn't want to buy the wig. I was
That's okay.
I was actually Harley Quinn 2 years in a row, but the first Harley Quinn I was like Jester, like original cartoon Harley Quinn, like the red and black look. Then I was Harley Quinn again, but I was Harley Quinn Suicide Squad, and the guy that I liked at the time was Joker. And then my canon event,
I fear.
my guy best friend was like the Riddler. Yeah. It was like really cute.
Oh, that's fun.
But I did get a wig for that. Don't worry. Yeah.
I've seen the photo. It was great.
There's some years in between that I'm probably like definitely forgetting, but like that's fine. My most embarrassing costume, though, however, it wasn't like I wouldn't say it was embarrassing. It was just kind of like this. I think was the same year that I was. This wasn't my only costume. This was just something I put on to like gag my family. But I was a Mormon, like from the Book of Mormon, with the like little name tag.
That's
and
funny.
like the like button down, like, you know, like Elder Price or whatever. Like, right.
Oh yeah,
like,
no, she's a theater
like,
kid. Don't worry.
My family, I like ding dong the like doorbell. But like that was embarrassing. Like I should not have been dressing up as a Mormon man.
I was speaking of theater kids, I was in Costco yesterday in the suburbs, and I saw the most biblically accurate theater kid of my entire life. He was wearing black skinny jeans,
Canon
deep
event.
cut,
Canon event for him.
Vans, some sort of like band tee, but it wasn't like a cool, like it was like definitely like Panic at the Disco or something. And then for some reason his head was a lot bigger than the rest of his body. And he had very like done hair. Like very coiffed and like I just looked at that boy and I said, you do high school theater, you're always the lead. You can like kind of sing but not that well, but like you think you're the shit and your theater teachers love you. The rest of everyone else in the program hates your guts. And you're going to go to some fine arts college and realize that you're not really that great. I sorry to that man if that's like not you, but
and if it is, who cares?
I was just like, I looked at him and I was like, the black skinny jeans were like insane.
Oh no.
Anyways, sorry, continue after the Book of Mormon.
Was, like, embarrassing for like no reason. Then, oh my god. I think my real costume that year, I remember. I was Spider-Man. In like the spandex suit.
I've also seen that photo.
Why did I want to dress up as like this is weird. Because why did I want to be a man? He's a boy. I wasn't like
He was iconic, and you were obsessed with Tom Holland.
Yes. Am.
Not was.
Yeah, he just
are.
launched his like new like non-alcoholic beer company, and I really want to try it. I'm not like a huge beer person, but I'll support anything that man does. So, no.
Does he like not drink?
He's sober, which is really great of him, and I applaud him for.
Sorry, the side eye I just gave. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Be you, King. I just like spilled my coffee.
But yeah, I don't know why I needed like, so I wasn't like Spider-Girl, Spider-Gwen. Like I was not any of. I know.
I mean, you were. It's just a costume. My culture's not your costume. Sorry, that's not funny.
My culture's not your costume, except I'm Wednesday.
And it's a spider.
No, that's funny. Anyway. Next year I'm actually going as Aragog. That would be crazy. Sexy Aragog.
No one's stopping.
I just got like legs. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I don't remember a lot of my costumes, and I don't know. Well, I feel like the first one I remember was being Jasmine, and that was probably like 3rd or 4th grade, and that was a big thing because it was like, and I'm still shocked to this day my mom let me wear this, but it was like literally a bra top and then like the pants. And also, like, why were you selling that to children? Just make it a tank top. Like, you're not stabbing anybody.
Yeah.
Like, it was like kind of a big deal that my mom let me do that, and it was like whatever. Then the next year, I think I was just like a vampire. And then I think in 5th grade, I like begged my mother for this red, like hooded cape, like long, like velvet, whatever, from Spirit Halloween. I was like, she's like, what are you gonna be? And I was like, I don't even know, but like I did the same fucking
thing. Not when I was a kid. This is like 3 years ago. I just bought this red cape. I don't know what I was gonna fucking do with it, but I had an idea. Anyway, continue.
And so it was like kind of expensive. I feel like it was like $30 or $40, which why? It was literally cheap velvet material. Also, my mom can sew. She should have just been like, I'll make you one. Like, we could have done that. Anyways, but I was like, I promise I'll wear it like more than once. And I did, because after that I was like a vampire that year in the cape. I think the next year I just like wore it with like a mask and was like secret Red Riding Hood. And then I just like would keep wearing it with like black clothes like every year. I just kind of like gave up, apparently. Especially like when I took like my friends like siblings out, I was like, I'm not doubling up. I might have been okay. And then in college, my freshman year, I went to like my boyfriend at the time went to A&M, and so we went and we were like skeleton king and queen, except like I was gonna be really iconic and like we looked fine, but I kind of regret that one. Like I hated wearing a bunch of face makeup because I was like, I just felt like it kept coming off, and like I regretted that. And then the next year I was a pumpkin. I like impromptu went to this Halloween party, and I have this like orange mesh see-through top, like, and I have a black triangle bra, so I just wore that and then the orange over. And then everyone all night was like, what are you? And I was like, I'm a pumpkin. Like, obviously, like I have like the jack-o'-lantern. I had like a black leather skirt on, and everyone was like,
they're like, you're just naked.
You don't really look like a pumpkin. I was like,
I
mean, they're not wrong. So like that was a whole thing. And then
yes, I remember that.
I was Tinkerbell. I bought like wings and I had a little dress and I did my hair. And then I think those were the only 2 costumes. And then last year, or our senior year was a big thing.
I have some continue, tell me your college costumes, and then may I? Okay.
Yeah, of course. So that senior year we went out. She said 5 nights. Have your costumes
ready. Like we're going out like 6 nights, like every day of the week. Consider a costume. No,
and I told everyone in advance. Okay. I was ready. So yeah, Monday night we had chapters. So I was like that Angel. It was just like an easy throw together costume, and you
I
were
was.
Wednesday.
And someone
Another
else was
night
Wednesday too,
we
and I
went
said,
out,
fuck
I
you.
was.
I know. Well, I know.
You looked better,
Well, I also
obviously.
don't. Never mind. Not going to say that on camera.
Another night I was a
Oh,
pirate because for work week
pirate
that
night.
year
Yeah.
we had like a pirate
And
theme,
that,
so
yeah,
I just
slay. But that's
rewore
slay.
that. Another night I was a race car driver because I just had this
Yeah.
random checkered top, and then someone let me borrow some like leather fingerless gloves. I don't know why they had those.
Girl.
I don't know, but they let me borrow them, and then I just
Yeah.
had like I wore these sunglasses. I put on a red
Yeah.
lipstick and wore like leather and boots, and I feel like it was pretty
No,
like you
I
could
think
kind of
yeah,
tell
that's
what was
kind
going
of a
on.
classic little look.
And then there was the big one, which
Oh.
I'm not going to talk about right now. I think that was all. Oh no, and then for some reason we threw a Halloween party at our sorority house, like just like for like the people, and we all agreed to be the same theme, which was Shrek.
Yeah.
So we all had to pick a character from Shrek. So I was Donkey.
That little tail.
So I ordered this little like ears and tail situation. So I had those on, and then I just had a sparkly gray dress on because it was the only like I was kind of like slaying Donkey. And the funny thing was is I was wearing it was a Sunday night. I was wearing no makeup. We were sitting in our sorority house that I lived in. But everyone came dressed up, and we took a great group photo.
That was good.
It was really funny. And we watched Shrek.
If anyone was wondering what I was for Shrek Halloween party, I was Puss in Boots, which I really wanted to do because he's so cutie.
And
I did
think you
also
wore
go
that
out
one
in that
also
one
on
as well. Yeah, we went to
when I was a pirate.
Yeah, we went out in that one. I was Wednesday. That was the night that you were a race car driver because we went out for one of our friends because her birthday is right before Halloween, so she wanted to like go out to dinner.
And her name's Victoria.
Well, yes,
and she was Victoria's Secret.
It was really funny. And she wanted to like get dinner and like go out, so I was like, well, this is like an easy, like this is an easy costume. Like it was different than this. I was not going out in like a sweater. It was cute, and I promise, it was adorable.
We were like always naked in college. That was kind of
close to go out. But that night was interesting. I like didn't really want to be out. Like I was fine. Obviously, like it was her birthday, and I'm gonna support her.
What's funny is no one wanted to be out, and she wanted to be out. Like our friend,
like, what are we
least
doing
of
here?
all.
We could have just like gotten dinner. But anyway, yeah,
it was fun. I had a good time.
And then
I always had a good time.
Well, I'll go back to our big costume because that's one of my favorites. So my junior year, I was Cruella de Vil, which is probably like my second favorite costume. I really felt like I ate that one up. I like did the half and half. I was wearing like a red corset, like black little like micro shorts, like thigh high boots, pearls. Like I was like this was very like it was cool, but it was also like, okay, this is still like college. No one really knew who I was, and I'm like, I literally have half black hair, half white hair. How do you not know? Anyway,
and didn't the Cruella movie come out like the new
year.
one with Emma Stone?
That's why I was Cruella.
Yeah,
because I love that movie. But I also I thought we were gonna go out like more than we did. Like that was like we only went out like that one night because the other like Halloween, like the Halloween party that like we threw was like a White Lies t-shirt party. So it wasn't like costume, like that was but anyway, that doesn't matter. But I had an idea for another costume and I still really want to do this and I'm actually gonna write it down so I don't forget. But I really wanted to be, and I bought like wolf ears because I wanted to be the wolf of Wall Street. Like I wanted to be a wolf, like a wolf in like finance bro clothing. Because I thought that was really funny.
Yeah.
And I still really want to do that actually. But then anyway, our big costume was I was Poison Ivy. and Lucy was Joker. And it fucking ate.
And we unfortunately murdered the competition, which was everyone who decided to dress up as that year.
No, literally. You literally lost the
Sorry,
competition.
you lost.
Like, turn to dust, bitch.
And I remember we went out and we saw, like, friends dressed up as,
But
like,
we ate.
those characters, and they were just half-assing it. Like, we don't
I
half-ass
had
this.
like a green, like, baby doll kind of, like, slip dress situation. And it had, like, a florally pattern, like, on the top. And then I wrapped myself, like, in ivy. I had, like, ivy in my hair. I spray painted my hair red. Like, Lucy had, like, green eyebrows. Like...
Yeah, we bought that, like, cut crappy, like, hair spray paint. And I was worried, because, like, Rachel's was red on, like, black brown hair. So I was like, well, even if it dyes it a little bit, like, it's gonna look nice.
In her blonde hair.
I put green spray paint in my blonde hair.
No,
I was like, if this I was so worried it was gonna dye my hair blonde, and I would have been like, the week after, just still green.
Well, you also did dye your hair pink accidentally that one time.
But yeah. That was months later. I don't want to talk about it. I like used this, like, what I thought was gonna be kind of like a gloss, but it was really like the conditioner that, like, people, there's a sun glare, people who, like, dye their hair use to, like, keep their color up.
Hello. You got, like, Jesus coming in the room.
I don't know what's happening. Okay, well, there you go. I, like, slicked back my hair, because we were, I don't know, what was that? I guess we were, like, Suicide Squad versions, kind of. Like, I slicked back my hair, the Jared Leto. So I, like, slicked back my hair. I did, like, a smoky eye kind of thing. I didn't smear my lipstick, because I was like, that's not my vibe. But I had, like, the tattoos and, like, I literally, like, all down my neck and, like, all down my neck and, like, my chest. We went a little ham. But I was also wearing no clothes. I had this green bralette, and I was like, perfect. I bought purple swim bottoms, because I was like, why didn't I just buy shorts? So I bought purple swim bottoms. So I was basically wearing, like, underwear, if we're being generous. I bought a big oversized button down to, like, kind of cover everything. And then they had it, like, it was like one button in the middle.
It was hanging on by a thread. Yeah.
It was falling off of my body. I had the, like, stocking, like, thigh high, like, fishnets, like, not even the full fishnets, like, they were just, like, half my leg, and then, like, little boots or whatever. And we looked incredible, but I was, in fact, naked in public.
Yeah,
that was
it
funny.
A good time.
You know? I forgot. I was like, what did I do last year for Halloween? And then I just remembered. How could I forget? Last year was really iconic, and I can't believe we're...
No.
Like, I just don't think we'll ever top
that. If anyone was
that.
guessing, we were Magic Mike. Which is actually fucking epic. That actually was really fun night. And also really comfortable, because we just got to wear white t-shirts, or white tank tops, and, like, cargo pants. I'm in pajamas, bitch. We were tearing it up on the dance floor. We had, like, so backwards baseball caps on. I would do that again.
Everyone was kind of like, what are you? And then we'd start dancing. They were like, oh. I don't think the people liked it, but it was really great.
And I'm like, just...
We were having the time of our lives. Yeah, and then we went to a costume party.
Oh, yeah.
And we were both Barbie.
And I was Western
But I was reporter Barbie. Because, yes. And she got a wig. We pinned that shit down.
It did not come off.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That was really fun. Yeah. Well, this year I'm Joe Cool. And then I'm going to be Sabrina. I'm going to her concert in Dallas. It's on the Wednesday of Halloween weekend next week. So I'm going, and she put out this thing yesterday, and she's like, make sure you dress up. Like, so I already was dressing up as her, but I'm dressing up as her from her last
Yeah,
album, which
it's
I was
cute.
like, whatever.
Yes.
But I'm gonna be the big tutu, Sabrina, from the Feathers music video, which is iconic. And I got this. I finally found a cross
Oh,
necklace.
slay.
Oh,
That's okay.
it do be backwards. But the chain's like
Yeah,
so short, so I need to figure that out. And then I'm going as a
that's cute.
clown, like a fun little clown, which is I don't know. I just like wasn't into
It's
it this year
cutie.
as much, I guess.
Well, I don't really have plans as of this second, but I have like 4 costumes. One of them I'm actually really excited for, and it was actually a last minute edition. But the White Rabbit from Alice in Wonderland. It's just really like the costume is just so cutie. Like I love it, and the little the ears. Oh my god! And I have a giant like pocket watch, which I think is so cute. So it's kind of like the White
It's
Rabbit
perfect.
if he was like a Playboy bunny.
Accurate.
Yeah. Like I want to give like berries and cream because he's
Um,
like essentially British, but also like he's a hoe on the side. He's the White Rabbit, but he's Hugh Hefner. Yeah.
um,
Oh,
and what else?
well, I don't like see. I don't know if I'm gonna get to do these, so I'm like, I don't. What do I want to share? But like, I really wanted to do Corpse Bride. Um. Anyway, and then I also was gonna do Queen of Hearts, but like make a corset out of cards, like the playing cards. Yeah, I'm just like I love the thought and creativity that I put into these, but like, where are the plans, bitch? Like, that's why I'm so mad. I'm apart from Lucy because I can't like.
Yeah, making plans as an adult post grad,
And I'm in grad school. It should
not
be easy,
easy.
but no one fucking wants to respond to me.
Boo. Also, I had a freak out because Halloween's on a Thursday, so in my mind, I was like, that weekend is like Thursday, Friday, Saturday is Halloween weekend. But apparently, people
Right.
don't want to celebrate November. Be for real. Um, so a bunch of people, like I saw some people online in Dallas, like some of the influencers I follow who live here, are like Halloween weekend, like so excited for Halloween weekend this weekend. I panicked. I made everyone come out with me tonight. So, but I'm also like going to a bar crawl next weekend. So I was like, what do you mean this weekend's Halloween weekend? So I'm gonna go out in costume. I'm making everyone go out in costume with me. And if we're the only people in
I don't think
costume,
you will. I don't think you will be. Like trust and believe.
not that I'm embarrassed, but like I would feel really bad because like I don't care. Like I'm literally in a
No,
sweatshirt and like
yeah,
sunglasses. Like it's fine. But like if other people like put in a bunch of effort and stuff, I'm gonna feel bad if
yeah.
they feel
Well,
silly.
I think okay.
But
You'll
everyone
be
seems
okay.
committed. So
Literally, other people will be in costume because like it is October.
well, yeah. I saw someone dress up like the first weekend of October. It was Hillary, and she posted like she was like dressed up going out to do something on like the first weekend.
An enigma.
Okay,
Enigma.
an enigma, really. Um. Anyways, back to
No, I
books.
really like that we do. It's very it humanizes us.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Except we're not
Humans.
humans.
Um,
Humans
we're not
humanizes
human.
us because, well, in the spirit of Halloween, we read something that truly scared us, which was terrible self-published book,
I
like
actually
so
don't
bad.
because I thought it'd be a fun, silly little idea if Lucy and I both read this, like as a joke, and then talked about it in the pod. I regret every second of it because I wasted minutes. I wasted time on this horrible book about a witch who ends up dating her cat.
So I found this on Fable like randomly.
I'm
It's
gonna kill
called
myself.
Spookily Yours. And I guess I'd read the
No,
description and I
no.
was like, that could be kind of fun and campy for Halloween. it looked, the description made it sound cute. It was like, it also sounded kind of like one of those inanimate object like smut books, which are funny. Um,
Mhm.
except this wasn't funny. Um, this girl, this witch, adopts a cat and then discovers that it's actually a demon who's stuck as a cat. And but then like when she turns him, they end up falling in love. So I was like, maybe it's kind of cute. I I wanted to claw my eyeballs off. Like the plot like didn't even really get to me. It was the way this was written. I think we both gave it one
This book
star,
physically hurt me because
which was
so I was
generous at
looking, I was like,
best.
because we read this kind of like more in the beginning of October, beginning mid of October, but
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I should look back, see if I highlighted anything funny. The only thing I highlighted, and this wasn't like, this was a highlight as in like, I'm currently vomiting and I need to share this with someone. Um, so basically they're like, I guess going, she like convinces him to like go with her to like the pumpkin festival, like pumpkin patch carnival situation, like in their town. And so he's like waiting
Mhm.
for her to like get dressed, and she like comes out of her room and she's wearing like a pumpkin orange dress. Like I mean, like it's pumpkin orange. Um, and he was like, that pumpkin orange dress like seemed to accentuate every curve of her, making look like the embodiment of sin. Bitch, she's wearing a pencil dress that's pumpkin orange. She does
Fucking
not look
pumpkin
like the
orange.
embodiment of sin. Because I've heard that term used. Like when I read Throne of the Fallen, like Prince Envy definitely used that like kind of same like like kind of term. Like, oh, like Camilla looked like the embodiment of sin. Camilla was basically naked. Camilla was basically wearing a sheet. So it's like, yeah, obviously. Like she's wearing like a sheer fabric. Like, hello, like this bitch is wearing a pumpkin orange skater dress.
I die.
Also,
Yeah,
did I forget
I
to tell you
started
he's her
marking
cat or
things.
she's her? He's a cat. He would also transform back into cat form to sleep in bed with her. Sorry.
That was humbling. Um yeah, so he grew up in the demon realm, not hell, as they like to point out. Um and his like demon-esque ability is he can shift, but he can only shift into a cat, which is kind of a fucking lame ability, if you
I
ask
want
me.
to
You should
shift
be able
into a
to
cat
shift into
though.
whatever you want. Yeah, but like they're like he's so
Oh,
powerful, he's a shifter. Okay, then shift into anything, not
yeah, he's
just
kind
a
of lame for
cat.
that.
Like sure, you can be a cat. Anyways, but he got cursed by another witch and
Uh, Horrendous.
he like got stuck as a cat and then she helped like break the curse, but then he could still like at will shift into this cat. And she like once she found out he was a human, he was like transformed back to human, she like made him sleep on the couch, but then he would shift into a cat to go sleep in the bed with her. That's just fucking weird. Yeah, I actually didn't mark anything funny. I marked things that I was truly horrified by. So here's this long ass list of
Okay, yeah.
quotes I
I'd
wrote
love to
down.
relive them in my nightmares.
And this book, by the way, was
Oh,
maybe
I'll tell you right now.
250
Hold on.
pages.
It was um like 225 pages. That's a novella. Don't publish something like this.
And
Sorry.
it was horrid to read. Anyways, okay,
The
so
shock and awe.
if you want to read it, it's on Kindle
Don't read
Unlimited.
it.
I don't recommend. No, no hate to this author, except
Well,
maybe
I
pick a new
remember
career.
when we found her Instagram. This is like actual hate. Like this is hate mail. But she wrote like a space cadet. No, actually,
She has a lot of
yeah.
interesting.
Continue with the quotes.
Um, yeah. So I have no idea when this was. There's no context to
Okay.
this, which makes it even better. Um, he was a large male, and even the impressive size of his package. Dot dot dot. Whoa. Large male. That goes crazy. Okay.
Large male.
Okay. Also, something to note: this demon is
He
very
doesn't know
protective
her.
of this witch. They met like 2 minutes ago.
But they did.
Not even kidding. She picked him up from the shelter, and he was like, "She's mine." Also,
Oh,
they're fated
because
mates.
of
If you
course.
didn't realize that, because of course, um, and therefore they can talk through their
Yeah,
minds,
like
which would be
Lucy and I
hot
love
if
that
they
trope.
weren't
I mean,
gross.
I'm speaking for Lucy, but I love that trope a
It's
lot.
a good trope.
But
It's a good
in this
trope.
situation, it was icky.
Okay. Next, they're in the library.
Mm-hmm.
God, okay. And this is from, it was dual POV.
Yeah.
So this is from his POV. The red-headed boy from the library was moving closer to my witch, making my hair practically stand up on my arms. My body sang for me to defend her, to claim her publicly, to make it known that she was mine. I
You
gagged.
don't know her. Also, that's her friend. Let it go.
Um Okay, and then also because he's a demon, he's like 6'5", and she's a little baby witch, so she's 5'5", so they're over a foot apart. Which, if you listen, I don't know if I've ever said this, but that's too tall. I'm 5'5". You don't need to be that tall. I don't need someone to be that tall. Yet in these books, they're always like, he was so much taller than her. Except this is the first time I've read them publicly admit this. He was so much taller than me, so bringing our mouths together was a challenge. Thank you for admitting that he was too tall. You don't have to write them that
Yeah.
tall. Um so he shifts into a cat. But even when he's not a cat, he has cat-like qualities. Like when a low rumbling sound emitted from his throat when I moved my hand up, attempting to flick open the button on his pants. I blinked. Did you just growl at me? He was purring at her.
Oh, for the love of God. I'm sick. I'm fucking ill.
This is a quote. Couldn't help how much of a satisfied male that made me. Did
I
QAnon write
genuinely
this? Who
forgot all
wrote
of these things
this?
happened. But yeah.
I don't even know what the context for that is. Um, this one's vile. This one's vile. And listen. Here's what I'm going to preface this. I'm not a prude. But like sometimes y'all talk
No,
about things
because
and it's just gross.
no, and honestly,
Like you just didn't need to
and
say
you know
that.
what kind of makes it gross sometimes is sometimes the writing style outside of the smut feels really immature, so that when you start reading the smut, it feels like, oh my God, I shouldn't be reading this because like it's giving a 14-year-old wrote it on AO3.
Yeah. Well, all of the language that they use even in those scenes is kind of like it's like have you
Mm-mm.
been naked in front of someone else before? Like I feel like you haven't. Like I don't. And you just don't write what you know, and this isn't it. I couldn't help cupping her cheeks with my hands. I enjoyed how they engulfed her face, much like my hands did with her tits. They were the perfect size, considering I could practically cup them in my hands.
Hey, number one rule in the English language in literature: don't use the word tits.
That wasn't cute. Um, I don't know. I just like did a man write this? Because it's starting to feel like a man wrote this.
Yeah, it's really icky.
Um, I just like that's not like
No,
sexy. That doesn't make me feel like
but sometimes I feel
good
like
about myself.
if the hot guy
I
in the
don't know.
book that I just read said that, I'd be like, yeah, because he's hot. Because he's hot. At the end of the day, they wrote a very hot.
Well, it's also it
man.
wasn't like. Yeah, but it also wasn't like. I think what also got me in that part was like he wasn't doing it; he was just talking about doing it.
Why do you think like?
Which was weird. I don't.
Yeah, that was disgusting.
Um. some of these are like
They're really
really
funny,
out of
though.
context, so I don't know what this is, but it made me like this made me like ill, and I don't remember, but I guess he had done something for her, and she said, "That's dot 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 Damien." She clasped her hands over her heart. No one's ever done anything like that for me before. I pulled her into my arms, placing a kiss on the top of her head. How did I tell her I felt the same way? No one had ever cared for me before like she had.
Didn't he do something really
Um,
minor?
it was oh my god. Here's how it ends. It was crazy since we'd known each other for 2 weeks.
It was
Yeah,
crazy. This whole thing is crazy.
it's crazy that sometimes they would admit that they were fucking
I thought he
crazy.
did something. I thought when she was like, "Oh my god, like this is too much." Like, "Oh my god, like you can't like," I thought he did something like fucking minor, like literally like baseline, like did something nice for her.
Yeah.
Like stand up. That's your cat.
Sorry, I'm like
So
reading
go
the
ahead.
next quote. I'm ill. No, stand up. That's your
Stand up. You adopted him from the animal shelter. That's weird. Anyway,
This is what we were talking about earlier. I'm so full, I bemoaned, talking to the black cat who laid at my feet. I didn't know why he still insisted on sleeping in cat form some nights, but part of me didn't want to complain either. As much as I preferred falling asleep wrapped in his arms, I enjoyed having his little bundle of weight at my feet.
that's sick.
Ew.
That's totally sick.
Also, she was talking about dinner and not other things. Um, Also, because he still has some cat-like features in his human form, he has fangs. His fangs still poking out over his bottom lip.
He's like,
No, literally, it's giving. No, she said that. I was like, it's not cute. He's
he
going.
looks like a shark, and not in like a Ewan Mitchell way of like that. That's my shark.
No, 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 like.
That is so funny. I'll cry.
Oh, yeah. It was too soon, wasn't it? A month was hardly enough time to know someone, let alone to fall in love with them. And yet, I had. Like, why do you keep admitting that you're crazy for falling in love with this person, and yet you're like, but I did.
But I'm fucking crazy.
That was crazy to me. That
Well, here's
I'm
the
weird.
thing.
I'm a
I
weirdo.
can't read. I've tried. Like this is my. Well, so here's the thing. I don't like witch books. I don't like books where the characters are witches, but like Heartless Hunter is one of my favorite books. That's a 6-star book, and it's about a witch. But it's completely different because it's like
No, you don't like
no, because
Hallmark witch
um
books.
Heartless Hunter is like more fantasy kind of. It's not historical fiction by any means, but it's like set in like a more historical time period, like Regency, like
Mm-hmm.
England kind of time. So that's okay with me. It's when we're set in like present day and like we live in like the Gilmore Girls like small town. Also, fuck Gilmore Girls. Sorry, I've had enough of people being like Gilmore Girls. It's
First of all,
bad.
that
It's a
show's
bad
off.
show.
Like I've watched all of it, but like it's not a bad show. You just
Mm-hmm.
hate every single character, or you're mad that certain characters who are good people get jilted because they did the right thing. Makes no
Sorry, I'm like
sense. Anyways,
angry about
no,
it.
I read every October. I end up reading some sort of like cutesy Hallmarky The Good Witch vibe, which I do like. The Good Witch. It's a Hallmark show about these little witches, kind of practical magic esque, right? But I read these books that are like that. So I read the very secret society of irregular witches, which I read for my book club because every year they do two, and one's like scary and one's like cutesy. It was okay. Like I liked it, but
Right.
I probably wouldn't have picked that up on my own. Last year I read The X Hex, another book that was really stupid. Anyways, but this year we chose to read these bad books. Um,
8.
oh, okay. So the next quote, there's so many. We're like halfway through. Willow, look at you. He cleared his throat. I'm the one who's not worthy of you. Oh, he got down on his knees, dressed in his silly costume, holding both of my hands in his. I hate in real life and in the books when boys are like, I don't deserve you. Great, walk away. Good. Thanks for telling me that your happiness and like emotional like confidence depends on me telling you how much I like you. I don't need that. You're an adult. You need to be confident.
It's one thing to worship the ground I walk on, because you should. But it's another thing to be like, I'm just so pathetic and sad.
Yeah, it's one thing to be like,
Yeah.
like, you're so amazing, like, you're so hot, like, whatever. But, like, there's a very different tone when it's like, oh my God, you're fucking incredible. And then, like, I'm not worthy of
Well,
you
it's the other
because
thing
I'm
of like, it
pathetic.
kind of gets into like an emotional manipulation situation of like, I don't deserve you. Where it's like, you need me to tell you, like, no, you do, like, you're perfect. I don't deserve you. Like, I'm not doing that.
Which I'm not going to do because
Yeah,
I
I'm
am incredible and
amazing.
you probably don't. We don't need to unpack that.
Well, I am. That's what I'm saying.
No, I agree, but we don't need to unpack whatever that emotional dynamic is that we have going on. So, anyways, it's just like cringy shit. So Damien is the half brother of the prince of the demons or whatever. Um, anyways, it's a whole thing, and so Willow, the main character, finds out. Like she knew he was a demon, but she didn't realize
Yeah,
like
she didn't
how
realize how
what
deep
was
in the
happening,
demon realm he
and
was.
and the whole yeah, and the whole reason that Damien was in the regular world was because he was looking for the prince's, his brother's fated mate. Because like he needed his mate. This is in the second book. He needed like the prince needed his mate so he could be like powerful and like kill their dad so he could take over the throne. It's just the way things are. We don't ask questions. Anyways, so but Damien of course ends up falling in love with the sister of the girl he was looking for. So Willow finds out and she goes, "The half brother? The fucking prince of hell?" Which was funny. That was funny. Thank you. Okay. Opening up a portal, I commanded the shadows to do my bidding. Also, he
And that's
controls
normally really
shadows.
hot. Not in this case. No.
Yeah, not when he did it. I don't know. Something about I command the shadows to do my bidding just isn't cute.
Because you shouldn't have to, if you're wielding shadows, you shouldn't have to talk about how cool that is. You just kind of omit the shadows, and it's like, that's obviously badass.
I feel like she could have just ended it at opening up a portal, I commanded the shadows. Instead of I commanded the shadows to do my bidding.
Like, do you, like, whisper to them?
Okay.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, they're besties. They tell each other all their secrets. So I guess Damien's talking to his brother now. And he said, "Yes, Willow's my mate." I chuckled. "Funny that you sent me to find your queen, and it led me to finding mine as well."
That one is, like, etched into my brain. That's disgusting. No man should ever call me, like, I don't want to be anyone's, like, queen.
Shut the fuck up.
Princess,
like, that's, yeah. But... Okay, this is Willow, POV. I stretch my arms out, moving my hands in a grabby motion. "Come here." He climbed on top of me, pinning me in place with his powerful arms.
Uppy. Ew. You're a grown woman. Stand up.
And here's the thing. Are we all a little cringe behind closed doors?
I've never done that.
Sure, absolutely.
I've never done that.
I'm not admitting it. You could not. CIA, like, interrogation tactic, waterboard, nipple clamp that out of me.
Yeah, no, you're right. Have you ever grabbed towards like a man?
Sorry.
No. I would hope not.
I feel like I've
No,
reached
she's
out.
doing one of these. Be fucking.
Really racking my brain here. Don't think I've humbled myself to this level before.
No, I'm not doing that. Get away from me. No.
Oh. These are fictional people. Oh, God, okay. You're so little, he muttered. I'll kill you.
I'll kill you
I'll
with a
kill
gun.
you.
I'll kill you with a gun.
Fragile. Fragile. I can't. My instincts are going crazy right now. He sighed in frustration, setting me down. Ugh, gross. First of all, am I little? Yeah, I'm skinny. I'm a wisp. Don't worry, guys.
Right.
I just had an almond for lunch.
No.
You can't see my waist. But, like, I don't want a man to ever look at me and be like, you're so little. Your kneecaps are mine.
You are so funny today. Your kneecaps are mine. Clawing your eyes out.
Oh.
Like,
like, please. So I don't know, and it goes back to the like, oh, we always have to say she's so little and like she's so skinny. like yes, like everyone, like I feel like that is just society and like we want to feel that way, but like I don't know, something about seeing this book, I'm like, I'm not little. Well, I could beat your ass. Have I ever been in a physical fight?
Makes us angry that like I'm cutting your tongue out of your mouth. Your left arm. Mine.
Your tongue.
Like don't. Gone.
Mine. Your tongue gone.
Yeah.
Kneecaps
like,
snatched.
Good luck. But sometimes I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, and so part of the yeah, I just like they always say like I'm afraid of breaking you, and it's just like I know I think we've talked about this before. It's like it's why we like some of the characters that are like Violet Storingirl. Like yeah, we kind of hate her, but also at the same time like she's like get fucked. Like I'm figuring it out. Like she was too short for the gauntlet or whatever. She's like I'll leave me alone. I got it. So I don't know. Also, part of the fated mate situation, which if you've never read a book with that trope, is like they can't control themselves around each other because like they want like instinctually to quote mate. So anyways, that's what that was about.
I'm sick.
Oh. You don't understand. If I claim you, I could lose control. My demon senses would take over.
In the ballroom in front of other people? I don't believe
but the shadows cover them because he's homies with the shadows. He said, no, but I'm like, he was like, they're not soundproof. I was like, girl, everyone knows what you're doing. There's a cloud of shadows in the corner. We're not dumb. Anyways. Oh, yeah, so this is the quote from that. Oh, I don't even know if I can legally read this on the internet. I don't know. Why does it end? Okay, let me look at this. Yeah, this is just grammatically not correct. Gonna take you here so they all know that you're mine. His lips connected with my neck, kissing a line down to my chest. Claim my pretty mate in public. I whimpered. I vomited. Thanks.
Ew.
And that is the ballroom scene. Yeah, and then they're doing it, and he says, I've got you, baby. He soothed. My mate. My beautiful mate. They bring it up a lot. They will let you know. Don't worry.
Oh, no.
Oh, this line goes crazy. You're not ready for this. I'm so glad I adopted you, I murmured. Thanks for being my non-cat, demon.
I'm so glad I adopted you. Ew. I thought of it at the animal shelter.
Ew.
Don't let PETA know about this book. This is sick.
I don't even know. Yeah, also she can tie her demons live not for an eternity, but a long time, like thousands of years allegedly in this universe, and you can tie your lifeline to the demon, like if you're like mates or whatever, so you will live as long as they live. And they're gonna do that.
That's awesome.
So that's just cringe. Oh yeah, so they marked each other, I guess.
Yeah.
Don't ask. I rubbed my fingers over her mark. Mine, I murmured. Yours, she agreed. I hope a nuclear bomb takes you out.
I'm destroying this town. I'm doing a 9/11 on your city. You don't
This
deserve
fictional
to live.
town. Mm, like what you. This is
Mm-hmm.
Damon.
Yeah.
Damien, or whatever the fuck his name is. Like what you see, I asked, smirking, knowing my full chest was on display as I unbuttoned my pants. You're not that guy. You're not that guy.
Please, no. Your name is Damien.
Oh,
Shut the
oh, you're
fuck
gonna
up.
love this one.
Okay.
You're gonna love this one. We pulled apart long enough for me to whip her sweater off, dropping it on the floor behind me before rolling her leggings off her legs, stripped down to her
Now!
orange polka dot panties and black lace bra. She never looked so much like
I have something to
mine.
say. If I had a nickel for every time that polka dot panties played a part in a book that I've read, I have 2 nickels. That's too many. Where did you buy those? Who's selling that? Why is everything you own orange?
We get it.
Shut
You
up.
like
You're like a witch
pumpkins.
and like,
Shut
like, what do
up.
you do when it's fucking April?
So
Thank fucking
that is
God.
the end of the
Not that
annotations.
you reading
I'm
them is
so
bad. I
sorry
just
we had to sit through that.
reliving that.
No, like, and like this book was only 225 pages, and I felt like I read a 700-page book, and
I
like it
just
never
read a
ended
700
in a
page book
bad
and it
way.
flew by. It was fairy dust. Like,
Hold on, 1 second.
so what are you guys going to be for Halloween?
Oh no, I hope you couldn't hear that. I also had to blow my nose, so the black's gone.
No, I can't even really
ignore
see,
that.
but that's fine.
Anyways, so there is a second book in this series, unfortunately, in case you were hoping there wasn't. Yeah, so that was just straight up awful. Um, and like I said, the first book is Damien goes to the human world to find this fated mate for his brother, who is the prince, who needs his fated mate to become the king. Well, it turns out it's Willow's sister, like the first girl's sister. And so the second book is about how the sister actually falls in love with the demon king.
Naturally.
Which I was like, okay, maybe this won't be as bad. It wasn't great. It wasn't great. Um, because it's like I will say, I think the writing style got
I
better
didn't read this
somehow,
one, so I have nothing to say.
slightly. It was still only like maybe 2 stars. Like that's being generous. It was a little less cringe, but anyways, yeah, this one was also longer. It was 344 pages, but I was like, it took me a while to get through, and I just like didn't like it. It was like a little bit better, but basically, like the prince gets fed up that his brother isn't his name's Zane, is gets fed up that like his brother's not like found, he knew he found the girl and like didn't bring her to her, so he goes into the human world because he's like, all of his advisors were like, maybe you should like get her to fall in love with you and like kind of like go meet her and not like just kidnap her to the demon world so she doesn't hate you, because like when they get married it like ties their magic together, and so it's like he like wanted to give her a choice, so he goes undercover to the witch's town and like meets her at the bar, and they end up like getting together and kind of like date for a month, and then she finds out like some demons attack her and he like takes her back and explains it, and like, yeah, I don't know, it wasn't like bad, it just like was predictable as hell. Yeah, and also she's like a pastel witch, like she doesn't like, they're both witches, but she like likes pastels and color, so she's different.
Sick.
And her name's
It's
Luna.
cute, though.
And he calls her, like, it is cute. I don't know, this one was a little bit less cringe, I guess you could say.
Jury's still out on that one.
Yeah, like I wouldn't highly recommend this one either. Also, he wants an heir, and like it was this whole thing. Also, the sister Luna, her witchy powers, like she can kind of see the future, but she's always been like afraid of like how powerful she is or whatever. But like Zane's like, no, like it's so great, like whatever. Anyways, yeah, I guess it was 220 pages in, so it's kind of far into the book. And he says, "I want to see you swollen with our child." Mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. No, 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 no.
Oh my god.
I hate that trope. I hate that trope. Her hand, they're also fated mates. I feel like I've mentioned that several times. So, um, her hand splayed over her abdomen. "Fill me up, my mate," she begged. "I want your." Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. No, you're not ready for this quote. You're not ready for this one. "Does my little wife want me to breed her?" I almost DNF'd this book at that point. I said, mind you, I'm on a public bus on my way down to Austin. I'm like, I have a 7-year-old grandma sitting next to me. I said, I have no one to talk to this about. Negative, derogatory.
Ew, that is disgusting. Sorry.
What is this about?
That's.
Oh, also kind of like, I guess his like, if he gets upset or angry or whatever, like lightning strikes outside. Like he's kind of connected to whatever. So like,
it's fucking.
when
It's
he is
violent
like
again.
lightning strikes outside. Yeah, it is.
I'm sick. I'm ill.
Then I don't know what she's talking about, but she said, "How I begged him to put a baby in me over and over. I never thought I had a breeding kink before, but when a man like him asks you to have his child, why would you ever say no?"
I could see I could see the sentiment in that, the idea of it. Like, the wrong characters are saying these lines. You know what I mean? Like you're not that girl.
Yeah. Yeah, and then at the end, I only marked a few in this one because I was just like literally trying to get through it. The last thing I marked was she said, "You're just a grade A simp. We are in a magical realm of demons and witches. What the fuck? You're so Sigma. I'll kill myself."
Okay, if I was a boy,
kill myself.
That would be my Instagram bio. Grade A simp. Yeah. New band name, I call it. That.
New band name, dibs. Yeah, I like.
Mm-mm.
No comment. That was worse. It was hard to get through because it was 350 pages. Like, it was slightly better, but like everything was just kind of. It was weird. So like, there was like a really detailed description of their wedding, but then when they killed his father, the king, to like take over the new position, they basically brushed over it. It was like maybe 2 pages long, and I'm like, no, that's kind of the whole reason we're here.
Like, I don't need to know what linens you had at your wedding. Like, tell me about how you killed your dad. Kill your parents, Tracy.
So it just wasn't like notable in any way. Like, I feel like the first one was like notable in a way that was like, it was cringy and bad, and this one was not notable at all, and it was just kind of like less cringy, less bad, but like
still not,
just a little weird at times, and like not worth mentioning.
Like, didn't have a good time.
No, yeah, I had a horrible time actually.
So, have you read anything like fun and enjoyable and not made you want to claw your eyes out?
Maybe. Yeah, hold on, let me look. I've been not in a reading mood. I've basically not been reading, so that's who's asking me? Okay. I'm checking my Fable because I don't know. You know what I did read that I really liked? Listen for the Lie, which was a book club book. Did I talk about that last time? Oh, okay. It's a like
Mm-hmm.
thriller mystery, and this girl like turns up like they live in a small Texas town. Turns up after this wedding that everyone was at, covered in dirt and blood, like wandering around like
Uh-huh.
dazed. Her best friend's nowhere to be found. They end up finding her dead in the woods. Everyone like thinks they killed her. She's like, I would. They were best friends. She's like, I would never. But she like trauma
Yeah.
blocked everything that happened,
I've
so
been
like she
reading.
doesn't know.
If I okay again, if I had a nickel for every time I read a book, like a really dark fantasy's the wrong word, like a really dark, like like gothic academia romance where the main character trauma blocks a main part of the story, I'd have 2 nickels. I'm just racking up nickels today. 10, 10,
Uh,
20s on his kitty,
yeah.
bitch. Sorry. Whoa.
Um.
Whoa, 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 whoa. I love Rack City. It's a great
um.
song.
That's an
Sorry.
incredible song. Yeah, it was. I really liked it actually, and I read it for book club, which like I don't
Yeah.
always love the book club picks, but like I do love a thriller mystery, so that was really good. Um, and basically like she leaves. She like they don't try her. They have no evidence against her. Like she leaves town. She moves to L.A., but then her
Mm-hmm.
grandma gets her to come back to town because she's like a cool Southern grandma. Um, and the whole town like thinks she did it, but like she never got tried, so like they're kind of all rude to her, but the reason she goes back is because her grandma asks her to, but this guy, this um true crime podcaster is like
Oh.
reviving the case and like trying to help her solve it. And in the end she does remember. Well, it's like it's kind of emotional because it's like it you find out that the guy she was married to at the time was like super abusive and um that was interesting and like she didn't want to talk about it and she basically never talked about it like we learned
Right.
about it but like she basically never like confirmed it publicly or like talked about it, which I felt like that was a really real moment. And there's kind of like I know like domestic violence and like media has been in the public because of like It Ends With Us and everything. So I thought it was I don't want to say like portrayed in a really real way. Like they didn't talk a lot about it, but like her feelings towards it that were like, I finally like left and got out of there and like I don't want to
Yeah.
revisit that, like felt really real. Like sometimes people are like, I don't want to bring it back up. Um And then like I thought the ending was like total twist I didn't see coming. It was crazy. And also like she has this little voice in her head that you hear like kind of through the whole book, but like at the beginning it's like we should kill them. Like here's how you kill them. Like she's like I'm always picturing how to murder someone. And she's like it's like this weird OCD
Like,
thing.
that was like the book I was reading.
But it turns out it's like
Yeah.
yeah, it turns out it was like the best friend's voice and it was kind of like a way of her coping with like losing her. And then
Whoa.
so it was like kind of weird, but like cool. It was fun. I
That's
liked it a
good.
lot.
Let's go book club book. Sorry, I now sound really, like, not enthusiastic.
Sorry, can you hear that? That's so nasty. I'm getting over a sinus infection.
Incredible.
So it's like, anyways, that's really all I read this month was all of those. So what did you read this
Well,
month?
I've been on my reading game, and I would love to be on my reading game more of, like, things I actually want to read, because I've been reading a lot for, like,
Mm-hmm.
class, and those are books that I'm just like, oh my god, can we just, like, one of the books I have to read for next week is Last Night at the Telegraph Club, which I'm currently listening to the audio of because I was like, I don't have fucking time to pick up a like 400 something page book that I don't care about. It's really not my gig, like at all. Like some of the other ones that I've read, like I read a book called it's over there, The Feeling of Falling in Love, which was about these two boys who were at a boarding school. They're roommates. They don't like each other. But that's just because the main guy, Neil, is like, he's an asshole. Like, he's a dick. Like, you're supposed to kind of not like him. But then he redeems himself. But anyway, Neil is like hooking up with like one of his guy best friends. He's gay. He's actually transgender. It's that doesn't matter. Who cares? he's hooking up with his guy best friend. His guy best friend admits, hey, I have feelings for you, like, this, like, friends with benefits thing, like, I feel something for you that's more than just, like, and I was like, Neil was like, I don't feel the same way, Omi. I'm so sorry. So then it becomes really awkward, but they were going to be dates for Neil's brother's wedding. So now Neil has to find another date for the wedding, so he's like, oh, well, I'll just take my stupid fucking roommate, Wyatt. And then obviously, like, they're, like, fake dating. Wyatt and Neil kind of, like, they have, like, heart-to-hearts, and they, like, kind of understand each other, and they're, like, kind of going through the same thing of, like, their identity and, like, their sexuality. And it was actually, like, it was pretty good. Would I read it again? Would I have picked it up outside of this class? No. Am I glad I picked it up? Sure. I mean, it was good. Like, it was a quick book, whatever. It was fine. This book that I'm listening to can't get into it all. It's 1950s Chinatown in San Francisco, and it's about two lesbians. That's all I have to say. I don't,
No,
and that's really mean.
No comment.
And I don't know what this says about me, but I would rather read. It's not that one or the other bothers me. It's just if I have to pick, gay man. I think it's because I, as a woman, also like men. Have you seen that Modern Family clip where Mitch and Cam are explaining, like, where it's like, gay men over here, straight women, and then they're like, because they both like men, but then it's like, gay men, lesbians, and then there's, like, butting heads because, like, they don't, like. So I think that's it. Is like, I don't see how we could have, like, I don't care to read this, and I don't know what it says about me.
That's hard.
That, like, I'm really trying to listen to the audio. It's so confusing. I'm lost.
I think it's interesting because like, sometimes, media is not made for you, but at the same time, like, they say, like, oh, well, you should consume things that, like, aren't always for you, or, like, that give you a different perspective. And okay, everything's falling. But then, like, I think there's a difference between, like, media you should consume to, like, learn more, and, like, media that's just, like, straight up not made for you.
I think it's also hard because I used to say historical fiction was my favorite genre, but that's because The Book Thief is, like, something that I, like, hold near and dear to my heart. But, like, I would say I love a historical fiction, like, TV show or movie. Like, I think it's just kind of hard to read it because I'm, like, a little lost. And there's, like, I'm listening to the audio, and every once in a while there's, like, a break in the chapters, and the narrator reads over the timeline of, like, this year, and, like, this is happening in the world. Like, this is happening, like, it's, like, 1952. This is what's happening, like, in America, and this is what's happening in China, and the fucking communists are after us. I'm lost. Like, I also think it's just, like, I don't really care about your underground lesbian speakeasy. But hey, if we're, like, going to the sweat tour, like, yes, like, I don't know. I think it's just, like, I don't click with it. And I think that's just really hard. Mm-hmm. And it's hard when you want to go into a profession where, like, I should have knowledge on things that just aren't in my wheelhouse or in my identity, or things that I personally enjoy. Because if I'm serving, like, a community or a school, kids are going to obviously have different interests. Kids are going to identify one way or the other. And, like, but it's like, do I need to read this whole 450-page book to understand that, like, it's about the fear of coming out to your very, religious is the wrong word, conservative Chinese family who, like, we have to be the perfect American citizen.
Yeah.
Like, we have to be the perfect, like, Asian American citizen so they don't think we're communists. And if you're lesbian, they're going to think you're a communist. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I understand. Right.
Crazy pipeline. She's gay, so she's communist.
And, like, I understand that. I just don't think that this is, like... I'd rather read, like, a little plot summary, like, a little, like, themes.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, like, you learn about stuff like this now, but, like, maybe in the future it's like you have a community of people that can recommend things. Like, there's no way, like, as a librarian or, like, that you can read all of these books. There's just no way. It's like you have to go off of, like, what other people have, like, said and their experience, and, like, it's important that you understand, like, that context, but I don't...
Like, it's not something that, like, I could recommend it if that's something, like, that someone is, like, looking for. Perfect. And it's not my cup of tea. Like, I would rather read about the phantoms and the ghosts and the, like, assassins hiring to kill each other and the cowboys. Like, you know, that's just, like... And I think it's just hard. But I did read in an entire day, in one sitting, you know, that movie that was, like, on Netflix or something, like, Love, Simon. There's a book. It's based on a book. And I read the book in one sitting. And it was... I wanted to see if it held up, because it was written in 2015. And I could say, yeah, it did. And yeah, there were Harry Potter Draco fanfic references, and I really loved that. I felt seen. It was fine. Like, you know, would I have read it again outside of class? Probably not. But I can say that I've read it now. But anyway, so another thing that I literally just finished last night at, like, midnight was Nocticadia by Carrie Lake. Holy shit. She made 700 pages whoosh by. Like, I read it in an actual, like, week. Like, from Thursday to Thursday. You know? Like, it was done. So good. It's a professor-student romance. It's a slow burn. And by slow burn, I mean they don't kiss until, like, 300 pages in. Something like that. Like, they don't even brush hands.
Hate it. No.
But it eats. The tension is so... Let me get my quote down. So good. So basically, we have Lilia, who is, like... She's from, like, a really poor family. She lives in a, like, terrible, awful neighborhood, like the ghetto of Massachusetts. And she lives with her younger sister and her, like, stepdad, but her stepdad is actually her younger sister's biological father. So she's, like, it's her half sister. And so they all live together, and her mother died 4 years ago. Then we get, like, a flashback of what happened to her mom. And her mom, like, drowned herself in the bathtub because her mom was getting really sick. And we're kind of like, what is this illness? We then learn that there's this school on, like, off the coast of Maine called Dracadia. And there's this professor at the school who happens to study this really rare illness that Lilia thinks that her mom had, which kind of causes you to go, like, it's a parasite. Basically, it kind of, like, gets into your brain and, like, eats your organs and, like, causes you to, like, go crazy and manic. And you get really sick. So she actually ends up getting a scholarship to this university to go study this parasite disease. But she's like, I probably shouldn't. Like, I have to... Her sister is also in a mental kind of facility. It's a school, but it's for people with, like, mental health issues, because the day that her mom drowned in the bathtub, her mom was actually trying to drown her younger sister. Like, she was trying to drown her own kid. because she was like going crazy. So then obviously her younger sister has like some trauma.
Obviously.
So she needs to go to like a special school. The special school is really expensive, but the special school is really helping her. And she's like, I can't go to this university, then I'm not making money to like save up for, you know, my sister's like boarding school, whatever, tuition. But she figures out a way to like go to this like school for a little while, and she's like, I'll just get like a job on campus and like really save up, but like it probably won't even be enough. Like I'll have to find something to do. So that thing that she actually ends up finding to do with it, it's like a brief stint. She posts a video of her masturbating in her professor's class. Yeah.
Like while he's teaching, or just like in the room?
He's teaching.
Oh.
And he has this weird thing about like he doesn't want to be recorded, but that's also partially because this disease that they're studying is like not out to the public. Like they have to sign an NDA if they're going into like the research classes. It's a whole thing. Because there's also like this secret, it's a whole thing. He's in the secret society called the Rooks, where they all wear plague doctor masks. Hot. Yeah.
This is what you were texting me about.
And so this like secret society that he's in is also funding his research to find like, he's doing it for like personal reasons of like, he has this like really rare autoimmune disease. And he thinks that this like concentrated levels of the toxin that the parasite gives off is going to cure his disease. That this autoimmune disease will eventually end up killing him. And it gives him like seizures. And if the seizures get into his heart, he will die. So sad. We don't want sexy professor to die. But she's also in this to like hopefully find like the reason and like a cure for like why her mother passed away. Killed herself. There's also these black worms. Oh, it's disgusting. It's so gross. If you're not like a gore like fan, don't read it. Like it's pretty like the worms. The voices. Anyway, so she like obviously ends up. Oh, and back to him recording the class. He doesn't like that because he's like, you fucking signed in it. I don't want to be recorded, right? Like this is top secret. Like,
wait, so why does she post that video though?
Yeah, it was like an OnlyFans.
Like she on like an OnlyFans.
Her friend was like, I do it, bitch. Like her friend was like crazy. Like this is her like friend like back home. It's so weird. It's.
How many people are in this class? Like where did? Huh?
She's like at the,
I have so many questions
that he teaches. And he teaches it at midnight. That's weird. It's because the disease is nocturnal. Going on. Like the parasites are nocturnal.
Yeah, I feel like we shouldn't be, like that feels contaminatory in a lab.
Well, so here's the thing, and there was actually an author's note at the beginning of saying like, hey. Just want to let everyone know that like obviously Professor Bramwell's lab wouldn't pass certification. Like, just letting everyone know. Also, the disease that he has, it is fictionalized. She made up this disease. But it was actually done really well. I really ate that up. Anyway, so he figures out that she's recording because, so this is kind of gross. Her phone is like in between like her legs. Like she's holding it like with her knees, right? Oh God, she's 20. She's literally 20. And he's like 31. Yeah.
Hold on, I
so
have
her
to take
phone
the
slips
for this.
and like lands on the floor, and like he hears it thud, and he goes up to her. There's already like a little bit of tension between them, and he's like, "Are you recording my class?" And she's like, "No." Like she's kind of like she's really shy and meek, but at the same time she's like really fucking bold. Like gives no fucks kind of thing. But also like will cry. So I really feel that. Anyway, so she's like, no. And he's like, well, you can either delete that video that you took or like recording right in front of me, or you can let me take your phone. And she's like, I'm not gonna, like, she's having this internal thing of like, I'm not gonna delete this video in front of him because then he's gonna see. But if I just give him my phone, there's not a chance that he'll see because like my phone will just be off. She makes the mistake of handing him the phone. The phone is on, like on the home screen. So he makes sure the phone doesn't lock. He goes to his office and watches the video, and he's like, "That's hot." Yes.
No. I'm scared. Come pick me
And then
up.
guess what? This is the worst part. He sends the video to his phone.
That's so illegal.
But yeah. There's this...
Everything that happened in that situation was illegal.
Yeah, so then
Everyone
at
in
the end
that
of class,
situation
he,
was
like,
in the
gives her
wrong.
back his phone.
Like, in the middle of class, he's like,
Well,
give me
so
a minute,
he has,
homie.
like, it's like a lab, so, like, his, like, assistant TA kind of person took over the, like, because, like, he had finished speaking and, like, went over to her, and then they were doing, like, the lab portion. So, like, the TA could just go around and, like, help people, like, with the lab or something. I don't know. I don't know the logistics of this classroom. Like, obviously, shit is going down at this university. Like, but he's obviously, like, a really hot professor. Like, all the girls are like, oh, he's so dreamy. And she describes him as he had just enough muscle to make a girl stare without wondering how many hours he spent in the gym. No,
I just
I'm
can't get over
eating it
this
up, low-key.
situation.
Like, So...
And so then what happens? Now I'm invested.
So obviously she's like, she gets this like work study kind of job at the like library on campus to like shelve books and like shit. You know, she's like doing like librarian things, representation in the media, and she's like, she realizes, okay, I can't fucking do this OnlyFans thing. Like that was like a one-time thing. Like that was horrifying. Like I'm not doing that again. So she's like at this like work study like gig. And she's like, meh. And she's like kind of learning more things about like the history of this island. And this disease only exists on this island. But she's like, my mom didn't go to this school. My mom didn't live on this island. Like my mom's from like Massachusetts, like whatever. Like, how did my mom contract this disease that people say only exists on this island? So she's learning shit. And people keep saying like, you look really familiar. Like, do I know you? It's because they knew her mom. But she's like, how would you know my mom? Like, my mom never went here. Like, she didn't go to this school. Like, she doesn't go here.
She doesn't go here.
And anyway, she ends up convincing Mr. Sexy Professor, let me work in your lab. He doesn't let students, like, work in his lab. Like, he's like, I'm not about that. I'm not about it. Oh, also, forgot to mention, he kidnapped someone and, like, injected them with the, like, the parasite, because to make the concoction that he injects into himself to cure his disease, he needs, like, live parasites. Like, he needs it to, like, actively infect someone who's living. That was a whole thing. So he, like, kept someone, like, this was a bad person, though. He was, like, the person that he kidnapped was, like, abusing his, like, wife and kids. We also have this whole lore of how the professor, like, how he ended up with this autoimmune disease. It is genetic, but he wasn't supposed to get it until, like, later in his life. But his father like, beat him all the time. And there was this one instance where he, like, hit him so hard in, like, the side of his head that it like, caused the, like, genetic disorder to, like, start early. His
crazy lore
brother
drop.
gets kidnapped, and he can't do he feels really guilty because he's like, I couldn't save my brother from getting kidnapped. That we end up later finding out that the dean of the university set that up. So he feels really...
What is going on in this universe?
School, like, every male at this school is in the secret plague doctor society. Because we start learning, and this is
obviously.
also what Lilia starts learning as she's, like, researching the history of the school and the island, is that way back when Mr. Hot Sexy Professor's dad did this study with the parasite to try to find a cure for diabetes. And And so then people are like, oh, well, he actually ended up killing like the 6 women that participated in this study. Right? Or there was 8 women in the study. 6 of them died. So she's like, oh my God, what if one of the people in the city was my mom? So then she's like, shit, I really need to get to the bottom of this. And so she finds out, obviously, that it's like the professor's father that did the study. So she's like, I need to go work in professor's lab. Professor, he doesn't want that because he's like, you're too much of a temptation to me because I like you. Also, no. So obviously she like blackmails. She kind of blackmails him into giving her this job. Like as...
Yeah. Because he... Does she like know he like sent himself the video?
This book was 700 pages.
There's a lot of content to consume.
So anyway, she's like working at his lab. And like one night they're like working like late. And something happens and she ends up like staying over at his office because his office has like a pull-out couch.
You know, because we can only study this thing at midnight.
Yes. Oh, I remember why. Because it was like thunderstorming, like it was like storming. And he's like, I'm not letting you like walk back. Like the bus isn't running. Like I'm not letting you walk back. Like you can stay here. And she's like, where are you gonna? Huh? You can't leave either if it's like storming. Like where are you gonna sleep? And he's like, I'll just like. He's like, I still got some work to do. Like I'll sleep in like my like chair. And she's like, okay. Oh, also another thing that's so fucked up and weird is she has to handcuff herself to like the bed, whatever bed she's sleeping in, because she sleepwalks. So he handcuffs her to the bed.
Wait.
So then they start like kissing. And then they start like doing shit.
Yes,
he's like, I'm not gonna sleep with you. He's like, no. He's like, he's basically like, I'll eat you out, but that's it. Like, we're not doing anything. Yep. And so she says that she was like,
crazy
I was watching
statement.
him devour me like a death row meal. Gagged. Anyway. So then they like do that. And he's like, yeah. His office is so weird. There's like a full like nice ass bathroom like in his office with a shower and like like the whole 9 yards. So then he goes to take a shower after they're done. She gets in the shower with him. Sucks dick. Well,
wait,
he
she
unhandcuffed
herself
before he started. Yeah. Yeah. The handcuffing, unhandcuffing was a while ago. Sorry. So she goes and gets in the shower with him, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "I'm here to suck your dick." So that happens. They like end up like cuddling and like going, and then they like wake up in the morning, and he's like, "You gotta go." He's like, "Just so you know, like this can't happen again. You're my student. This is weird." He didn't say that this is weird. He's like, he was more saying like, we can't let this happen again because I will go feral. Like, that's how he's like, there's like too much like money at stake, like in this research. Like, I don't want you getting kicked out of the school. I can't get kicked out of the school because I got this like, these like university funds of like to, work on this disease. So you know what this motherfucker, this little girl, do you know what she does when she's leaving his office? Takes off her underwear. No.
She puts them in his drawer, yeah. I was going to say that.
She takes them off. She's in front of him. They're talking. He's like, this can't happen and whatever. Takes off her fucking underwear, balls it, puts it in the pocket of his slacks. Baller move. And then she goes,
okay.
It's that ate low-key because that was the end of the chapter. It ate, and he just like watched her like walk away. And I'm like, that was good. That was good. Sorry, that ate. I'm looking at my little quotes. So basically, the book ends. We kind of get all these plot twists and reveals of like her dad, Lilia's dad, is actually, because she doesn't know who her dad is. She finds out that her mom actually was from the island, did participate in this study. Her mom got pregnant with Lilia during the study because she fucked one of the like doctors, of course, and that doctor ended up being the dean of the school. So the dean of the school hates her because he's like, I told your mom to like get rid of you, to like have an abortion, all this crap. And he's like, to find out that you're like
crazy statement to tell someone when they're already alive for 21 years.
Oh, she's been alive, like, and so he wants her like gone, like dead. And he's obviously a part of this like secret society. So he has her kicked out of school. So she has to go back home to her.
Who admitted her into this school?
It's a whole thing with like one of these like professors and then like the provost of the school, like the provost like really liked her and was like, she's really smart, like she would really do well here, like blah blah, like really wanted her like at the school. And when he has to kick her out of the school, he's like, I don't know, like I think this is like the dean's doing, like I can't do anything. So she has to end up going back home to her like poor little like town. And her like stepdad is friends with this really bad guy named Angelo. Angelo has always like tried to like rape Lilia, which is really like, oh my god, not a good trope. And so she comes
terrible
back,
trope,
and she's like hoping that this like creepy Angelo guy like isn't there. Turns out she's like in the apartment, like her stepdad like isn't there. And she's back in the apartment, and like she hears a knock on the door, and it's like him, and he like busts into her apartment, and he's like gonna kill her because he's actually, we find out he's been paid by her absent father, the dean of the school, to kill her. But guess who busts in and saves the day? Hot, sexy professor.
The professor.
Also, they've been like hooking up this whole time. Like they have like a secret forbidden kind of thing going on the whole time, and he's like realizing like, oh, I'm actually like in love with her.
Great.
Because he's actually he's the first person that he was able to feel, because part of his genetic disorder is he can't feel anything. So like he doesn't like to be touched. Obviously. But like there was one instance where he was in his office and he injected himself with the serum, and then the first person he touched was like her, because he like put his arm, like his hand like on her shoulder or something, and he was like, oh my god, I can feel you, and he like hugs her. Like it was a whole like cutie like little moment of like he can feel again. So he's like realizing that he's like in love with her, blah, 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 blah. He busts into this apartment and like saves her from like being like raped and killed by this like horrible guy that's hired to kill her, right? And then she was out for like 2 days. Like the creepy guy like knocked her out. She was like out, like coma. So he brings her back to like his place that he like, his like father's abandoned place on the island. And she's like living there. Then she ends up getting kidnapped by the secret society people. But we find out that the person who like kidnapped her was actually like the guy, the professor's like brother that we thought died years ago.
This is like a CW show.
Like the gothic academia vibes like really hit. But anyway, she she gets like kidnapped. We find out that like his brother was actually like kind of brainwashed, and he like kind of gets knocked out of it, and he goes like, whoa, what was I doing? Like, you're my brother. Like, whoa, it's actually good to see you, homie. I'm not dead, by the way. And he's like, I thought you were dead for like 15 years. Like, Jesus Christ. He's actually been cosplaying as the Plague Doctor this whole time. So then they're like, well, you know, Professor, like, she knows too much. Like, she now knows about our secret society. Like, we have to kill her. And he's like, no, make her a member of our society. So then she ends up becoming a rook. And they live happily ever after. And they end up buying
That's good.
her mom's like childhood home on the island. And then her and her sister are like gonna live there, and they like live happily ever after. But she was setting it up at the end. She was setting it up, I think, for like, I think it's hopefully, I don't know if there's gonna be another book. It's not like a series, but like, because this is a standalone, like it ends. But she kind of sets it up because her sister, obviously, as I said, she's at this like school, like boarding school kind of situation, and she's like texting her sister, like this is the epilogue. She's texting her sister, oh my god, I can't wait to see you for Christmas, because like her sister's gonna come up and like see the house and like stay with her at the school like for Christmas, right? And she's like, yeah, I'm so excited to see you. Like how are your classes, like how are your tests going or whatever? And she goes, oh my god, like one of the professors is like so hot. And she's like, oh, she's like, just be careful.
You're underage.
She's like, just be careful, because she hasn't admitted that she's like in a relationship with her professor to her sister. So she's like, just be careful. And she goes, oh my god, like Professor Cade is like so hot. Cade is the name of the brother.
Brother. Oh no.
I eat this shit up. Where's the fucking movie? Like, I need this movie.
What? Oh, we need Emily Henry book adaptation. No. No hate to Emily.
Hate to Emily Henry. Sorry.
Well, that'll just about do it for us today.
Oh my god. Am I going to see the Emily Henry Tom Blythe movie? Yeah, I'm going to see it because I love Tom Blythe.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's going to be like
obviously.
It ends with that situation. Like, not the same plot, obviously, but like cringe, stupid.
Yeah. But I love Emily Bader and Tom.
I've been seeing clips of them filming in New Orleans, and I'm like, cringe. As long as he's having fun.
I don't know. Anyways. Yeah. Well, everyone have a safe and fun, happy Halloween, whatever you're up to. So glad we could bring some spooky, horrifying content to you today. Don't fall in love with a demon cat.
Don't adopt your boyfriend from the animal shelter. Should be
easy enough. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.